Yes. Somebody in the class, can you tell me what are the advantages of network?
Central storage of data.
Okay.
Anyone can connect to a computer
Reliability,
network.
Okay.
reliable, security
Security
through
through authorization.
Okay. What are the 5 components of data communication?
Delivery,
message,
accuracy, sorry.
Message,
Message,
sender,
Message,
receiver,
sender,
sender,
receiver,
control,
and
protocol.
protocol.
transmission medium.
medium,
Okay. What is data representation?
Data is represented in text, numbers, pictures, audio, and video.
Okay. How the text data is represented?
As a
Text
bit
can be
pattern or
represented as
sequence of
a
bits.
As a
pattern.
bit pattern or sequence of bits which
Using
represent
ASCII and Unicode.
How many bits are allocated for ASCII and how many bits are allocated for Unicode?
For Unicode, 32 bits.
32 bits memory.
For 32 bits, ma'am.
Okay. Good. For ASCII, it is 1 byte. Okay. In today's class, we'll look into data flow. So the data flow or the transmission modes in computer networks. So what is transmission? Transmission mode represents, okay, so it means transferring data between the source and the destination. So it is also known as communication mode. Transmission mode is also called as communication mode. There are 3 types of communication modes, as you can see in this particular diagram. The first one is the simplex mode of communication. The second one is the duplex, half duplex mode of communication. And the third one is full duplex. You can expect this in your university examination. In the diagram, you can see that there is a source and a destination over here. And the flow of the pink color directed line you can see here, which represents the data transmission. Okay, so there is only one way of data transmission, that is from the source and the destination. So the direction of the data is only from the source and the destination, source to the destination. In the half duplex, you can see that there are 2 directed arrows, one going from source to the destination, another one coming from the destination to the source. And coming to the full duplex, you can see that there is a two-way communication here, but let me explain you what is the difference between half duplex and full duplex in detail. What is meant by simplex? Simplex mode of communication means that it is unidirectional. That means which is from only source to the destination, from one device to the other device. So there will be only one way of communication. The device sends the information to the other device and the other device receives the information. Example is your keyboard or CPU and keyboard. So as I press one character, the character is taken but is sent to the CPU, but it cannot receive anything. The keyboard cannot receive anything. In the similar way, like the monitors, okay, so the monitors take the character, display it on the screen, but it cannot send anything back to the sender. Okay, so here the receiver is the monitor, it just receives the information, it cannot send anything back. So this type of communication where there is only one way of communication, you call that communication as the simplex mode of communication, which is only in one way. So as you can see here, there are 2 devices, and one is the sender and the other is receiver, and the receiver cannot send some feedback or nothing back to the sender. So there will be only one way of communication here. So such type of communication is called as the simplex transmission mode. Coming to the half duplex transmission mode, in the half duplex mode, what happens is each station can both transmit and receive, but not at the same time. Okay, so that's the, you can just take a look at the diagram over here. So after the sender sends the information and the receiver receives it, then only the receiver will be sending the information. So only one person can talk at a time. Okay, only one person can send information or message to the other one at a time. Example of this half duplex is your walkie-talkie. Okay, so when two persons wants to talk over walkie-talkie, after one person finishes, only the other person can talk. It means that the channel capacity will be used only for one person to communicate. After the person communicates only, the other person can communicate. Such kind of communication mode is called as half duplex communication mode, which means that each station or each person or each device can both transmit and receive, but not at the same time. When one device is sending the information, the other device will be in silent mode. The entire capacity of the channel can be utilized for each direction. Okay, for one device to send the information, it will be using the entire capacity of the channel. So that is called as half duplex. Example of half duplex, as I already told you, it is walkie-talkie is an example of half duplex. Now coming to the full duplex, you can see that both the persons can talk. It is like telephone conversation or talking over the cell phone. Okay, both the persons can talk at the same time. It is not like one person talks and then only the other person have to talk. It is not like that. It means that the connection established, the transmission, the capacity of the channel is shared between the sender and the receiver. Both can use the capacity of the channel at the same time. That is the difference between half duplex and duplex. In half duplex, only one device can transmit the data at a time. Here, both the devices can transmit the data at the same time. So that is full duplex. So in full duplex mode, both station can transmit and receive simultaneously, meaning at the same time. In full duplex mode, signals going in one direction share the capacity of the channel or the link with signals going in another direction. So this sharing can occur in two ways. One is like I mean, either the link must contain two physically separated transmission paths, one for sender and the other for the receiver. Capacity of the channel is divided between signals traveling in both the directions. Okay, so this is full duplex mode. And so full duplex mode is used when communication in both directions is required at the same time. The capacity of the channel is divided between the two directions. Example, as I told you, which is telephone network, in which there is communication between two persons by a telephone line through which both can talk and listen at the same time. So transmission of data between the two entities or the two devices can happen at the same time. So that is full duplex. What is half duplex? Half duplex is that both can transmit and receive the data, but not at the same time. Okay, when one device is sending, the other device will be silent. In simplex mode of communication, there will be only one way of communication. Only the sender sends the data, the receiver receives the data, that's it. Okay, so these are the three data flow or the transmission modes in the computer networks. So a network is a set of devices connected by communication links. Okay, so here a node can be, the devices are also termed as nodes. Node can be a computer, it can be a printer, or it can be a mobile phone or any other device that is capable of sending and receiving data. Okay, and generated by other nodes on the network. Okay, so it is capable of generating the data and also receive the data that is generated by the other nodes on the network. So what is meant by a link over here? So as we said, like a network is a set of devices. So set of nodes. What is a node here? A node can be a computer, a mobile phone, or it can be a printer, or it can be any other device that is capable of sending and generating and receiving the information, the data. The link is the communication link, which can be a optic fiber, or it can be microwave, or it can be through Wi-Fi, or it can be a wire cable. So any of the medium is considered to be a link over here. And the purpose of the link here is to transport a signal. Okay, and this signal will be carrying information. So that is the complete definition of a network given in your textbook. So what is a network? A network is set of nodes or devices connected by communication links, And what is a node here? A node can be a computer, or it can be any of the device which is capable of generating and receiving data. And what is a link here? Link can be a Wi-Fi, which is air, or which can be an optical fiber, or which can be microwave, or which can be a wire cable, which is a medium which can transport a signal that contains information. So most of the networks are distributed network. Task is distributed among many single computers connected to each other. You can actually solve bigger problems by using the network. So most of the networks are distributed networks, which means that distributed processing can happen in which that the task is divided among multiple computers. Okay, right. Instead of doing the same task on a single large computer, since the computers are in, which means that we are making utilization of the commodity hardware. Like for example, to solve satellite related problems, you do not need to have a supercomputer over here. You can simply utilize the commodity computers that we are using. Because they are connected in the network, you can distribute the task among the computers and achieve the same functionality on the commodity computers rather than having a supercomputer. So most of the networks use the distributed processing. Now coming to the network criteria, so a network must be able to meet a certain number of criteria over here. So what is the criteria of the network? We'll just go through those. The first one is the performance, and the second one is reliability, and the third one is security. So these are the network's criteria. Coming to the performance, what the performance is measured. Okay, so performance can be measured in many ways. So the first one that is included in measuring the performance is the transit time, and also the first one is transit time, and the second one is response time. Coming to the transit time, as the name is self-explanatory, transit time is the time for a message to travel from one device to another device. Okay, so what is the time taken for one packet or one message to go from the source to the destination, or from one device to another device, which is called as transit time. And the response time is the time between an inquiry and a response. Okay, so a device is sending a message, and how much time the other device is taking to give a response, that is called as response time. It is the elapsed time or the delay, like you say, the time taken to give a response. And other than these two basic measures, factors, we do have some other factors also to measure the performance. The other factors are like the number of users and the type of transmission medium. Because yesterday when I was discussing the transmission mediums, I said fiber optics is one of the fastest medium. It depends on type of transmission medium as well, and also the capability of connected hardware is like how good. Like there is difference between a supercomputer and a commodity hardware. So obviously the hardware also plays a very major role in measuring the performance of the network, and then the efficiency of the software, and throughput. Okay, so throughput is another factor which affects the performance of the network. So what is the throughput? Throughput is a network throughput is the amount of data moved successfully from one place to another in a given time period. Okay, so typically we measure the throughput in terms of bits per second, or megabits per second, or gigabits per second. So the throughput is that. Okay, so throughput is the amount of data that is transferred from one place to another place, which means from one device to another device in a specific given time. It can be second, or it can be how many bits is transferred per second. Okay, so bits, how many bits, how many megabits, and how many gigabits. So there is a supercomputer in NASA which can transmit almost 90 gigabits per second. Okay, so there is a difference because the hardware and software that the supercomputer uses is different from the commodity ones. So that's why the throughput is very good for certain computers. Even this is measured. Okay, so the performance is measured. Like we say, what is the throughput of the network? Okay, so based on that, you can estimate like how good is the network. And then coming to the delay, network delay refers to the amount of time it takes for a packet to go from point A to point B. Okay, so how much time it is taking. So if it is going beyond the stipulated time, then we call that the packet is having a delay. Yesterday, I already told you regarding the audio and video signals. We talked about the jitter over there, wherein I said like the jitter should be the delay between audio packets should be not more than 20 milliseconds. If it is more than 20 milliseconds, then the audio packet becomes useless. So the jitter should always be between like 15 to 20 milliseconds, not more than that. So the delay is also very important. So if there is more delay, then maybe there is congestion or many other things which will affect the network performance. So these are all the things that need to be measured for knowing how good is the network. So a network must be able to meet the performance requirement. And the next criteria for the network is the reliability. So reliability is, we all know like how good it is in the odd situations, whether it is working fine in certain odd conditions, that is reliability. So it is measured in terms of frequency of failures. Okay, so if the network is failing so often, then we say that the network is not good. So reliability is low. So network should always possess this quality of reliability, being able to function in terms of odd situations, and recovery from failures. Even if there are failures, it should recover fast, and robustness during catastrophe, which is the ability to withstand failures. So these are all measured in terms of reliability, the frequency of failures and how well the link is recovering from the failure, and whether the network is robust or not. Okay, so all these are measured in terms of reliability. Now coming to the last network criteria, which is security. So security means protecting data from unauthorized access, because you know like there is a far communication or face-to-face communication, or there are two devices that are connected in a network, and the data transfer from one device to another device in a specific in certain path. Okay, so when during this path there can be intruders or there can be hackers who wants to retrieve this data. Imagine that two military bases are trying to send some information. One is in LOC and the other military base is in Bangladesh border. And these two military people wants to send some important information. Somebody in the middle wants to get the data or retrieve the data that is communicated between these two military bases. Then if some anti-social elements get that information, then there will be some disaster may cause. So it is very important that the data is secure over the network. Okay, so it is not taken by the unauthorized persons. So that is one of the very important criteria of the network, which is again a special stream in computer networks. Okay, network security is again a very big stream of study. You can also take it up as your master's stream. Okay, fine. And protecting data from damage, the data should not be, I already told you, this is one of the point we discussed, that the accuracy of the data need to be there. Okay, so the data should not be damaged. It can be because of the intruders, or it can be because of the devices also, the data can change. So that thing should not happen. And implementing policies and procedures for recovery from breaches and data losses. Breaches means intruding. Okay, so somebody who unauthorized person entering into the network and trying to retrieve the data and data losses. So implementing certain policies and procedures, all that come under security. Okay, protecting the data from unauthorized people, and also protecting data from damage, and also implementing protocols. Okay, so implementing policies and procedures means that implementing protocols. So all that come under security. And your network must be able to meet all these criteria. So these are some of the very important factors that affect the network. So the first one is the performance, second one is reliability, and the third one is security. For communication to occur between two nodes, devices, they must be connected to connected in some way, okay, and to the same link at the same time, okay. So then only the communication can happen. And there are two possible ways of connection. The first one is point-to-point connection, and the second one is multi-point or multi-drop connection. So let me show you the diagram. So can you see the diagram here for the point-to-point and multi-point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in the point-to-point connection, it provides a dedicated link between two devices. Okay, so there will be a dedicated link, a specific link for between the two devices, and the entire capacity of the link is reserved for transmission between those two devices only. Okay, and so most of the point-to-point connections use an cable. Okay, so wire or cable to connect the two ends. You can also have the other options of having, such as like microwave or satellite link are also possible, but mostly the two devices will be connected with the cable, and there will be a dedicated connection between the two computers. Okay, so there will be a wire connection between the two computers. So that is called as point-to-point communication. So let me give you an example of what is point-to-point. So whenever you want to change the channel in the television, okay, so by using a remote control, so remote control works with an infrared signal. So when you change television channels by infrared remote control, what happens is you are establishing a point-to-point connection between the remote control and the television. Okay, so that is called as point-to-point connection. So the remote works only for the specific television. It does not work for the other television, right? So there are two devices. One is the television and the remote control, and the connection between these two devices, the remote and the television, is the infrared signal. And there is a dedicated line, like that remote works only for that television. If you want to use that remote for another TV in your house which is of different make and all that, it doesn't work for that. Even for the same make, it doesn't work. Okay, it will work only for that particular TV. So such kind of communication is called as point-to-point communication. Okay. Now coming to the second type of communication, the second type of communication is called as multi-point or the multi-drop communication. So here multiple recipients of the single transmission will be there. So as you can see that there is one transmitter. So this is transmitting some information here. Okay, so this mainframe is transmitting some information, and this is the link comma, and you can see that there are three stations that will receive the same data. Okay, so which is called as multi-point or multi-drop connection. So in which there will be more than two specific devices share a single link. So there will be a single link wherein more than two devices will be sharing the same link. And the capacity of the channel, okay, so this link is the capacity of the channel. This link will have some capacity, right? So the capacity of the channel will be shared, okay, so will be shared by all the devices that are connected. So they are shared either spatially or they are temporally. So let me tell you what is meant by spatially. So what if several devices use the link simultaneously, then we call that it is spatially shared connection. So they are using the same link. So that's why they are called as spatially shared connections. Okay, and what is meant by time shared connection? In multi-point, we do have two things. Okay, so let me show you here. So as I said, like they are spatially or temporarily connected, right? Sharing the capacity of the channel is shared either spatially or temporarily. Now, what is meant by spatially? Spatially means that that it is shared. Okay, so the single link is shared simultaneously. Then we call that it is spatially. Now coming to temporarily, we call that as a time shared connection. What is time shared connection means that one device will take some time to actually use the link. For example, if this station is taking 2 minutes, after this 2 minutes, another station will take the time. And after 2 minutes, another station will take time. So they'll be taking this link, they'll be utilizing this same link in turns. That is called as a time shared connection. So multi-point connection is spatial connection and also time shared connection, which is temporary connection. Okay, so these are the two connections, physical structures, types of connections that are available. One is point-to-point connection and the other one is multi-drop connection. So you can see that the examples of multi-point connections are the broadcast networks. So the broadcast can be of type of transmission can be unicast, multicast or broadcast. Unicast means that it is one-to-one, multicast is from many to many, and broadcast is like one to many. Okay, so you know this. All these type of connections again come under multi-point. So point to point is the dedicated link between the two devices. Link is used only for that. But here in multi-point, the link can be used by many devices. More than 2 devices can connect, and they'll be taking turns to actually use the connection. So you can see that in the diagram. So here you are having only 2 devices. It's a point to point. Okay, right. But here you can see that there is one device with many devices connected here. So this is an example of broadcast. Okay, one device is sending, like your radio. Radio is broadcast, right? So one sender and many receivers. Whoever will tune into the frequency can actually listen to the radio. So that is broadcast. So it's an example of multicast or multi-point or multi-drop connections. So let us take a look at table. Can you see this table, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The comparison here are in terms of the link and then channel capacity and the transmitter and receiver, and I gave some examples over here. The difference between unicast and point to point, don't get confused, okay? So here in point to point, there is a dedicated link between the two devices. Okay, so there is a dedicated link, but here it can be like the communication between these two devices only, but they all share the same link. There is a dedicated link. So this is the first difference. There is a dedicated link between the two devices, and here more than 2 devices share the link. And next is the capacity of the link. So the capacity of the channel is entirely for the source and the destination, right? So for only between the 2 devices, but here the capacity is of the channel is shared between the devices. And next one is transmitter and receiver. So what is a single transmitter and a single receiver? And there will be single transmitter and multiple receivers. Okay, so this is the basic point, but you can also have multicast also in multi-point. Okay. Now coming to the examples, you can see like frame relay, T carrier, X.25, all these are examples of point-to-point channels, and multi-point are token ring, Ethernet. All these are ATM, which is asynchronous transfer mode. All these are examples of your multi-point. Now let us move on to the next very important topic, which is physical topologies. So topology, what is meant by a topology? Topology is a connection, okay? It's a layout of how network communicates between devices, different devices. That is a topology, okay? So there is another definition also for the topology, which I have shown here. Physical topology refers to the way in which network is laid out physically. Can you see this, Ma? Can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Where 2 or more devices connect to a link, and 2 or more links form the topology. So what is a topology over here? Topology is the layout of how network communicates with different devices. Okay, and how the devices are connected with each other. That is called as topology. And another definition is topology of a network is a geometric representation of the relationship of the links and the nodes, okay, with one another. So that is another definition of topology. So I have given you 3 definitions of topology. The first definition is a topology is the layout of how network communicates with different devices. Another definition is that physical topology refers to the way in which network is laid out physically, and two or more devices connected to a link, and two or more links form a topology. So this is another definition. And the third definition I'm giving you is topology of a network is a geometric representation of the relationship of the links and the nodes to one another. There are different topologies available. The topologies vary for the wire network and wireless connections. Okay, for wireless we'll discuss later, but now we are discussing the wire connections. Okay, various connection topologies. And the first one is the mesh topology, and the second one is star topology. Third one is bus topology, and the fourth one is the ring topology. So these are there in your syllabus, and we'll be discussing these four. Other than this, you also have the hybrid topology, which is nothing but combination of one or two topologies together, which is a hybrid topology. So what are the various topologies? The topologies available are the mesh, star, bus, and ring topology. And mesh topology is your internet topology. Okay, so this is one of the MCQs. What is the topology that internet uses? And internet uses mesh topology. And in my tomorrow's class, I'll continue with these topologies in detail. What did we see today? What are the various topics that we have covered today? We have seen the data flow, right? We have seen the data flow. Data flow is nothing but communication between two devices. The communication between two devices can happen in simplex mode or half duplex or full duplex mode. And we saw what are the various modes over here, communication modes, the data flow. And in simplex, like it is unidirectional, which means one-way communication happens, then it is called as simplex mode. Example of simplex is like your keyboards and traditional monitors are examples of simplex mode of communication. And the second one is half duplex mode of communication, wherein both can communicate to each other. The source and the destination can communicate to each other, but not at the same time. Okay, this is what is called as half duplex mode of communication. And the entire capacity of the channel can be utilized for one direction, for each direction. Because they don't communicate at the same time, the entire capacity of the channel can be utilized for each direction. And coming to the full duplex mode, it is also called as duplex mode. Duplex or full duplex is same, in which both stations can transmit and receive data simultaneously, okay, at the same time. And the capacity of the channel can be divided between the two devices to transmit the data. So sharing happens here. The channel capacity is divided between the signals in traveling in both the directions. And examples of duplex or full duplex mode is the telephone network, wherein people communicate over the mobile phones in both the directions at the same time. So this is data flow. And next we have seen the network. What is a network? So a network is set of devices connected by communication links. Here the devices are considered to be the nodes. Node can be a computer, or it can be a mobile phone or a printer or anything. And the link is like it can be wire connection or the wireless connection. And most of the networks will be in are for distributed processing, wherein the task is distributed among multiple computers, and rather than giving the entire task to a single large computer, because of the network. This can be one of the advantages of the network. So wherein we are distributing the data among the different commodity computers or the personal computers. So we are utilizing the computers capacity to do smaller tasks, and we combine all these smaller tasks and achieve the goal. And next is the network criteria. Network criteria is a network must be able to meet a certain number of criteria. The first one is the performance, second one is reliability, and the third one is security. We have seen what are the measures of factors that measure performance. So we have transit time and also the delay time. Then we have the number of users connected to the network, and also we have seen the hardware importance and the capabilities of the hardware and the efficiency of the software. And also there are two networking metrics that are often used to measure the performance. The first one is the throughput and the second one is delay. Throughput is the amount of data that is transmitted per second. It can be bits or it can be megabits or it can be gigabits. And delay is the time taken to for a request and also for a response. That is considered to be delay. And reliability is measured in terms of frequency of failure and also recovery from the failure, and the robustness of the network is also considered in reliability to measure reliability. And next is security. Security is like protecting the data while in transit from one device to another from unauthorized access, protecting the data from damage and also the protecting the data from unauthorized access. All these can be implemented by using protocols. And next is physical structure. In physical structure, we have seen the type of connection. So there are two types of connections we have seen. One is point-to-point connection and the other is multi-point connection. I have given you certain differences in terms of tabular diagram over here. The first difference is in terms of link. You can see that there is a dedicated link between the sender and the receiver, and it is only in one-way communication. Okay, so the sender sends and the receiver receives. Wherein more than two specific devices share a single link, that is called as multi-point connection. Yes. In tomorrow's class, we'll look into the topologies.